Good evening, and welcome back to Tuesday night. On behalf of First Amendment Sports, I'm Ken Marangolo. This is, thank God it's Tuesday, and it is the year 180. He's Kevin Ricca.
It's nice to be back as a team, first time in about 6 weeks. We got our health situations back, and just now it hit me. Ever since we started doing this, scoring several years ago, we've never been 2-0. Congratulations, boy.
It's a fact. Tim Stragan?
Yes, I thank you for your patience. I was bronchitis had gotten me, as you can still probably hear a little bit. But I'm also, I think steroids had a big point in getting me getting better.
Yeah.
But I'm not counting out the fact that we're 2-0, and I'm feeling way better.
And you look buff.
It's
The
helping
steroids
my,
are really
my
kicking
physical
in.
health, my mental health. It's been a bitch of a month, man.
Yeah.
Great for your hair.
But
Yeah, great. No hat. I mean, that's why you're not going hat tonight, I guess. We're 2-0. It's pretty. We didn't get a chance to talk about the Cards win, which in retrospect, I'm okay with. We talked about that game too much as it was leading up to it. If anything other than
I tried to tell you guys.
anything
I tried to tell
other
you
than
guys.
a win,
It was going to be a nail biter.
we had problems. I'm glad it's 2 weeks behind us. I'm glad we didn't have to spend
That's
any
fair.
time at all.
That's a fair statement on that.
Yeah.
I don't care that I was nowhere near, right?
Oh, really? 63 to nothing?
63.
63-3.
You did give him a 3-piece.
I was really hoping that they would show up and finish off the Giants, but they couldn't do it, and that's okay because I need them to win less than 4.5 games. See how that works out. Scotty A, Greg Martin, J Dubs, Brett Donnelly, EO, Ken Harris, welcome.
Squad.
Everyone else who is yet to be named, I haven't seen anyone else come on the board yet. If you haven't already done so, click subscribe. If you see or hear anything you like, give us a thumbs up, and away we go.
We'll take a middle finger thumbs up as well. No problem.
Any.
See?
The D is personal.
See?
It is. It's very personal. We got to check her out.
I always thought the D was personal.
Well, this is him. So we're now on, like, male sexual enhancement pills. Like, we're really working our way up the food chain.
That's big money,
That's
by the
big
way.
time.
That's huge, huge money.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you say it's huge. It's a little bit.
Medium
A
size.
little better than average.
It's medium size. It's average. It's average size. Listen, we got awesome stuff to talk about. I want to say thank you. We haven't had a chance to say thank you to E.O. Anderson, who
Yeah.
sent us this amazing gift. We're going to crack it open and have a little toast, I think, at some point. That'd be nice to do.
EO definitely leads the
Blanton's.
the crowd in sending stuff.
It is. We're in the process of returning the favor, so we're digging out
He leads the
our
clubhouse in sending stuff.
box of goodies. We have to do some digging, but we're gonna uncover it. There's no
That's
music
awesome, by
playing.
the way.
There's no music. Is the music still playing? I turned the music down. I turned it off. We'll see. EO, can you hear the music? You can hear the music.
I mean, we're asking a
doing-
lot. We're asking a lot out of you.
Yeah,
Can
we
you
are.
bring the whiskey? Can you hear the music?
I believe the music is turned off. Anyways, the Washington Commanders, 35-33. We have all kinds of numbers to jump into. I have some stat sheets we can throw up on the screen throughout the evening. But like I guess 100,000 foot level, we are undefeated. 2 wins is a big. Music's still on. Not gonna lie, that's troublesome. Oh, Rhett's saying the music's still on. I don't know. Rhett's. I don't know if we can. We can always
Is it
go
the
by
music
Rhett.
that's in Rhett's head, or
Might
just the
be
stuff
the-
that we're pumping out?
When I did
We're not
listen,
pumping out. We're pumping out zero music right now.
when I did listen, I think last week, and you did music, it did drown you guys out.
Oh yeah, no. We have to get a real sound guy. That's on the agenda. Rhett, you're
Someday.
fired. You're fired as sound guy. The only
Do you want to ask EO to do that too?
Yeah, can you, EO? Can you make it on over here to help us out with that? Let's see. Before we talk about like the actual game itself, I want to talk about like the beginning of the season for none other than Ron Rivera. So Ron Rivera has had I'd say, an auspicious beginning to a prove-it year. Him and his coaching staff, Eric Bieniemy and Jack Del Rio, most notably, have found themselves in some pretty tight predicaments. All at the outset of the season, they managed to box their way out of them in both situations. But I don't know. I gotta tell you, at some point in time, I would love to understand how we can not put ourselves in those situations. But that's easier said than done.
You just talking about when he puts his foot in his mouth?
No. I'm talking about on the field, just getting into situations that their backs against the wall. There's zero margin for error, and in both times, against the Cardinals and the Broncos, they managed to escape. But or
find a way to win.
Find a way to win. Find a way to win. In both situations, we found a way to win. It's worth noting we weren't. I don't know if you want to say we weren't a second half team last year or in previous years, but our scoring was off the charts in terms of what we've been able to do in the second half of these first two games. Now we're put opponents aside for a second. I think the first things first. Our ability to go into the locker room and talk about it and come out with a plan. I think in both week 1 and week 2, Ron Rivera, Eric Bieniemy, and Jack Del Rio put something together in the second half. And I think we've outscored opponents 35-18 or something in the second half so far.
Yeah,
this season.
man, and that's a big deal.
Yeah,
It's all started with defense. At some point in both games, they took it to another level, and it set a tone, and I think it trickled onto the offense in terms of just confidence and ability to take over the momentum of the games. But defense certainly has set that tone. They've started slow, but again, there's almost been a switch that the defense has turned on in both games, where from that point on, you just felt confident that they were going to win the game.
And that defensive line will wear your ass out. And if we start quicker, we could be very, very nasty. I know that Sean Payton, one of the most heralded offensive minds in the game, he schemed us up on a couple big routes, and he got what he was looking for. You can't let that happen. I'm just saying that's going up against the real deal there. And I think eventually we figured it out and put the clamps down on those boys. But you can't just show up 21-3. But you know what? In the last 23 years, 21-3 seemed like a death sentence.
Oh, yeah.
It had a different feel this time.
I mean,
had a different
the game was over. Like that. I mean, it did. You know what I mean? Like our whole experience, we've been trained to look at what we saw and to think. Well, I mean,
it was so easy.
And the whole thing is like we've all seen that so many times, and it's like, well, I mean, this is what we're in for. This is what I'm signing up for. Like, this is what I'm not doing anything else this Sunday afternoon to watch, which I was going to. I was going to sit there and watch it no matter what. We always do anyways. But like it was about to be the longest of days. I mean, it was going the wrong way. From my watching perspective, I had to go to a wake, unfortunately, right at 4:00. So I started the game late. Tried not to watch my phone. Things are popping up, and I caught a glimpse of Kevin saying, "Take deep breaths," and I'm thinking, okay, if I'm thinking right, they're in the second quarter. Right, it was right when I went 21-3. When it got there, I was like, "This is what Kevin was talking about." Yeah. But at that point, I still hadn't lost despair. And then when the offense started kicking in, the defense, hit that switch, and the offense started kicking in. You're right. There was a different. It didn't feel like it was lost. Like 21-14 was a miracle. The fact that we went into the locker room 21-14 after all the nonsense that transpired was it optically it looked like an actual football game. It felt like the momentum had kind of turned our way a little bit. Like, okay, like we can play in this game with this team like we couldn't in the beginning of the game. And it was an actual game. And when coming out of the second half, I was like, all right, like, okay. But like before it was 21-14, I don't know. And I talk about it giving the defense credit. In both week 1 and week 2, the front four flipped a switch on a particular drive. They did it against the Cardinals, and it was like 3 straight plays of absolute
really
badassery
in the Cardinals. Almost single-handedly.
All 4 of them. They all beat their guys. They all got to the backfield. They made life miserable for Dobbs, and then they did the same thing for Russell Wilson. Deron Payne obviously was.
You talking about the Duran 3 and out?
Yeah,
the
the
sack,
Duran
the
3 and
tackle
out.
for the loss, and the
Yeah.
batted ball, and I was like, oh,
It was
pay
amazing.
that man his monies. That was sick, and we needed a 3 and out desperately right then and there. And he just took that series into his big old palms and just mauled it. That's the kind of shit that you stick around and watch this team for. That's who we got now. We got different cats. You think those guys in Kansas City are missing Bieniemy a tad bit? And I know the opponents are different and blah, 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 but 17 points in week 1 and doing their little, screwing around. I'm just telling you.
I'm less worried about what they're worried about in Kansas City and really glad that he's here doing what he's
really
doing.
happy about it. Our screen game has never, ever looked like this. And guess what, man? That's a play in the NFL. If you can have a screen, you can exist, especially with a young quarterback, not a rookie. I'm not going to say that, but I'm telling you, man, watching these dudes on that defensive line, that is the heart and soul of our damn franchise. We know it. We've talked about it forever, but watching them excel. Hey, watching Chase come out there and put some work in. Is everyone going to 1 week of leaving off his ass for a little bit? We know what he's going to do. We know what he's
He
capable
pushed
of.
people around.
He's only going to get better.
Come on,
Pushed
man.
people
He's only gonna get
around.
better.
He pushed tackles around.
Like we worried about what was it? Whether or not he's supposed to be there or not be there, or is it supposed to be? What time is it? Or what? Shut up, nerds.
I texted you guys this last week. This defense has already proven they can be a top defense in the NFL without him. All right, that's already proven. Okay, what he needs to do now is show that he can take this defense as being one of the top and be an elite defense. That's the only way he's going to prove that he can stay here and that they need to pay the money to keep him and Sweat here at the same time, is if he takes it from one of the top to an elite defense.
And that's all we've said. Let this hash itself out. It'll figure itself out. There's no need to talk about it right now. It's going to happen in the next 16 weeks. We'll figure it out. When they met at the quarterback,
It was pretty elite yesterday.
It was such a cool moment for me. I was like, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Meet me at the quarterback. Dexter and Charles Mann, meet me at the quarterback.
Meet me at the quarterback.
Meet me at the quarterback. Who's going to get there first? All right, bet.
And how about Deron and Allen talking about they want to be the first tandem that both get 10. I mean,
They're
four
nasty.
of them
Let's go.
are nasty.
I know. I love it. This is what we did. This is what we invested in. We've done it the right way, and we're building our franchise around it. I love it. We have a goddamn game plan, and it exists on the defensive side of the ball up front at the line of scrimmage where we all know it matters the most. And those guys have been badass.
What's Ken Harris saying? Commanders minus 55, Chiefs 37.
Commanders have scored 55 in 2 weeks, and the Chiefs,
37.
yeah, they're just scraping around.
That's not a negative.
Trying to kick a few field goals out there.
They're
Kansas City.
struggling, man.
They'll be all right, but you know what? And listen, it's early. You don't lose a Bieniemy and gain a Bieniemy. He's been a huge fact. We'll see how it pans out all year long. We're not going to make this comparison all season. I'm just saying I'm very thankful to have him like T is here on the Burgundy and Gold. And they're missing him a little bit in
How
that
much would
Arrowhead.
Mahomes love to have the Commanders wide receiving core?
Man.
Yeah, that's been a thing for him for a while. I'm trying to understand how the restructuring of his deal that pays him $200+ million in the span of 3.5 years. I'm trying to understand how that helps them get wide receivers in the near term, but we'll see.
But he did it.
We'll see. And
what
it
he
needs
did,
to.
What he did before helped them get 2 championships. This is why he got paid.
Of course.
But he needs wide receivers.
Yeah, someone's got to catch that thing.
Yeah. You talked about the screen game. Antonio Gibson had a huge recovery week. And, I don't want to. He took a little bit of a beating. And thank God we didn't lose the Arizona Cardinals game. Big time fumble, and it was a little bit of shades of pass. But the play, the Antonio Gibson, he had some big gainers, and he ran he ran free. But there was a first down run that he started to the left, he turned back to the right. Made a couple guys miss, and he powered his way over that yellow line on the TV that only we could see. It was a tough run. I mean, it was physical the whole way. Obviously, he protected the ball. It turned into a first down. It was a big drive, an important moment in the game. So he had other plays that mattered. He did, but that's the one that stands out for me. That run to me was everything we need out of a running back is we're going to need this year.
And I think he only had 2 carries, but it was going to be a tackle for a loss. It was a big time in the game. He put a foot in the ground, and he earned 6 or 7 yards on his own by making it happen. in the screen game, he jumped off. His speed and quickness jumped off the screen. I said, what? He looks like he just was shot out of a cannon on that screen. And boy, I thought he might go. And he cut back. He looks electric. He looks faster and quicker than he's looked.
Well, in his shoestring away from from taking it to the house.
And by the way, he just kept outrunning the next. Like it was like a video game, and he had 99, and everyone else was in the 80s. It was sick. I loved how his explosion jumped off the screen. That was big time, and Bieniemy used him in that situation. And we're going to keep talking about Bieniemy, and we'll get into it all. But I just love how he called that game, how he maintained patience. We did not get worked up. We didn't get in a hurry. We ran our offense, and Sam Howell hit 10 different receivers throughout the course of this game.
I don't know why anybody plays
10
zone.
different
Why does
guys.
anybody play that much zone against us with a guy like Bieniemy who finds matchup he likes, easy throws. Sam Howell gets it out. He's accurate. I mean, you could do that all day.
And
all day.
anyone that doubted his arm strength, well, you don't anymore.
Favorite throw of the day.
Well, come on, to McLaurin, baby. That was sickness. You couldn't have walked down there and hit pause in real time and put it anywhere better.
It was so
couldn't
amazing.
be any better. It couldn't be any. It had to be there. Now, was it probably the most advisable throw and
it was
triple coverage?
He stepped around in the
Maybe
pocket,
not.
moved to his
But-
left, and it was beautiful.
What I hear so many times, heard it come out of Peyton Manning's mouth directly. Those guys get paid too. They're professionals too. You have to give them opportunities. That's what Hal did. They maybe said, "Look, let's take a shot, whatever. Just put it where he can get it."
He was open,
and he did.
He was open with the ball guy.
too.
He threw the ball to the open spot.
Unbelievable throw.
And on the broadcast, I don't know if you were capable of hearing it because I know you were all over the place, but they did. They referenced the fact that they were interviewing Terry McLaurin. He said that week, and it wasn't Archuleta's nerd ass, and I'm done with him calling games anymore. But anyways, they said this week. We went to Terry and he said, you've got to hit me on, I'm talking to Sam saying, you've got to hit me with one of these 50-50s and I've got to earn that trust and you'll see, if you give me that opportunity, you'll see you can trust me. Well, dang it, man.
Yeah.
Oh boy, that was.
Heineke certainly trusted him. That's why, he threw those balls that Terry made unbelievable
He
catches
did.
on.
They're 45%ers.
But that was a different throw. That wasn't a Heineke throw. That was a Howell throw.
Heineke does not have that in the backpack.
No.
Sorry. His bag of tricks doesn't include that laser beam. Did you see when they showed it in focus?
Mm-hmm.
How tight it was and where it's just how it comes off his hand is a little different.
Dude, all of his throws when they were showing it from the alternate angles, so when you weren't looking at it from the wide shot when you're watching all the plays from, I mean, he's throwing darts.
It's like a slingshot, and just.
I mean, it's different. It's different than what we've had.
It sure is
noticeable. It's so noticeable because at first you're watching. We said this like in the preseason and at the end of last year. Sometimes when he winds up and the second the ball is released, when you make that snap reaction, like you think you know where the ball's going to go. With Heineke, you know it was going to go up out of the screen and then fall back down somewhere downfield. With
you held your breath. You're like.
With Hal, my first inclination when I first started watching him throw was like he's gonna that's going into the ground. Like he's throwing it right into the ground, and he's not. He's throwing fastballs and he's putting them in on making it rain.
The arc is different in the two. And unfair to compare them both, but as fans, it's fun to watch it on television. It's that thing gets out in a hurry and it gets there in a hurry, and that's the name of the game in this league and this offense.
Let's talk about him. Let's
get in there.
Let's talk about Sammy. All right, so here's a stat line: 39 passes, which is awesome. Yeah, he threw it a lot. Kind of had to throw it a lot, especially to get back in the game. But the game wasn't a throw or die game by any stretch. 3 hundo, two touches. The big number is the 0 on the interceptions. He's still getting sacked too many times. I don't care too much about QBRs or RTGs at the end of the day. Whatever. 27 completions is a big deal. 300 yards is a big deal. 2 touchdowns. He had what won't show up. We'll have another stat box where it will show up, but here it won't show up. Was the 3rd down scamper for a first down where he ran. I mean, I was overstating it and over.
It's okay.
Yeah,
we understood what you were trying to explain.
That run is exactly what you get with Sam Howell. I mean, it's like just like one of those old guys with the metal finder on the beach. He's
I thought you were going to say old guys with the huge balls.
It's old guys with the huge balls.
That's what you were going to say.
Also, that too. He has a nose for that yellow line. He knows where it is, and he's going to challenge defenders to stop him before he gets there.
We'll get into all this stuff, but gosh, he's going to make us a little different in the red zone. And after watching New England and Miami and watching Belichick play 3 deep and 2 deep and play those guys at 30 yards of depth and say, hey, come on, get all the yards you want. Now come on into my little clubhouse here in the red zone. And that's the name of the game in this new NFL. And it's, yardage used to be the main stat when we first started doing this.
Yep.
And now it's more about red zone defense and red zone offense and who can execute. Well, 3 for 3 on the day for Sam Howell last week on the good guys side offensively. And that's going to be the type of defense we're going up against. But watching how it all unfolds and watching how Sam Howell can be that guy in the red zone with that dual threat scenario, it just makes us so much more effective. And that throw to Logan Thomas and how he held on to the ball and what he did in the red zone, I think was what thrilled me the most, because you don't win that game. The week before, I think we were 2 for 4 in the red zone. We go 3 for 3 and pull that out. And that we needed all 3 of those trips, or else for obvious reasons. But watching him function in the red zone right now, that's where Eric Bieniemy is standing out to me, and the play calling. And we'll get into the first and third down stuff as we go forward. I know Kenny got some awesome stuff, but that really jumped out at me, guys.
Here's his red zone business. Repeating an oft-repeated line straight out of California from EO, quote unquote, holds the ball too long. It's still happening
because he's
a little
rookie.
Bit. Yeah, he's
because
still,
he's a rookie. That's the only rookie mistake he's made in both games. Is he doesn't realize there are very large men who want to do a lot of damage.
And we can see him. I'm watching the guys closing up. I'm like, get rid of the ball.
The worst one this past weekend is when he got flushed out to the right, and then he stopped to try and set up to throw the ball. And he's lucky he didn't fumble.
I couldn't believe he didn't fumble, but he didn't
get his head taken off. That is not something I think he should do again, and hopefully he doesn't do that again.
Couldn't agree more.
He is holding on to that ball sometimes a little bit too much.
And here's what rookie quarterbacks do and early quarterbacks do. They do it on third down when they don't want to get off the field. They don't want to chuck it away. It takes doesn't it? You have to live through it. And I'm not saying you and I have lived through it. I'm saying
you have to
go through it. And right now, Bieniemy's doing a great job. And my point here was first down. You guys know I'm a third down guy and stat guy, but Bieniemy has kept him out of unnecessary third downs. 6 of our 10 sacks have occurred on third down, while he is in there as a young quarterback, reluctant to throw that ball away and let the defense go out there and smash them. He's got to know this is where his bread is buttered, and this team is built around our defense. Get rid of that thing on third down. I know it sucks. You're not letting anybody down, but when 6 of our 10 sacks occur on third down for minus 48 yards, there's a reason for that. And we'll get into the first down. I'm just going to say it right now. Week 1 against Arizona, he was 8 for 16 on first downs for 63 yards. 1 interception and 2 sacks on first down against Arizona. That's average. It's not terrible. It's average. Last week, big time. First down, Bieniemy got him off and running, averaging over 6 yards on first down every time he was in there. My man was 14 for 18 for 119 yards and a touchdown on first down this week. And that's the shit, because we weren't in any BS third down scenarios, putting him in a bad spot. And what do we know about the beginning of the season? We got 10 sacks, 6 of them on third down. I think I've made my point here.
Go from 8 for 16 in 1 week to 14 and 18 in the second week. That's huge.
For 119 yards versus 63, too. So that's on first down, man. And I'm not talking about him scrambling for that's just throwing the ball. And
talk about the new NFL too.
Exactly. You gotta
passing.
You have to win first down.
Yeah.
You have to win first down. And we have a defense that causes teams not to win on first down.
That's like a third of his passes. First. Yeah, that makes sense.
I'm just saying, man, it's big time. 12 times on first down throwing the ball, we netted over 5 yards. And that's humongous.
Yeah.
It's a real big deal for this offense. It is.
All right. Through 2 games, Sam Howell gets an A minus, B plus, A minus, B plus range. I mean, it's hard to. Let's take this off.
He is making some rookie mistakes, and that's going to be expected, and that shouldn't be daunting unless he continues to make them. So huge. Zach Wilson's a guy that continues to make the same mistakes over and over again that are correctable. Right now, I haven't seen him really, other than maybe holding the ball a little too much, not make those mistakes over again. He's going to make more.
What do you got? Give me a letter.
It's going to happen.
You're a tough grader?
I'd like to be a tough grader, say B+.
I was going to say B+ before T said B+, and I agree with him. We're not handing out A's here willy-nilly. We don't have, Aaron Rodgers 10 years ago. No. That's a guy who goes out there and shows everyone how it's done.
I'm going to be the easy grader. I'm giving him an A-. He still hasn't lost yet in his young 3-game-long career.
Well, that's cool.
And he put some balls on the money, made some good decisions. I think the difference is on those big hits, he did not fumble because he did last week. All right, let's go to the wide receiver group. Let's just do that real fast. This was awesome. 10 guys caught balls. The other cool thing, the top 4 of them were over 40 yards. The next 5 averaged over 20. This was, you can give a lot of credit to Hal. You got to give a lot of credit to Bieniemy. And even giving old Byron Pringle a ball at the bottom. Rhett's boy, De'Ami Brown, got 3. The big headline there is Terry with 5. Couple tight ends in there, 3 tight ends, I should say, with 7 catches to the tight end spot, and pretty good. I mean, just no matter how you look at this and slice it up, I mean it's almost 100 yards to tight ends. It's obviously over 100 yards to wide receivers, and both running backs there at 3 and 4, about 100 yards there. So.
And you'd like to think that Jahan
awesome.
Dotson and Curtis Samuel get more targets and actually more catches in most games.
They will, and it's pretty cool that 10 guys can make a play within the framework of this. And I loved how we spread it around. And by the way, it just happened. It's so cool to watch them call plays. I love what we're doing. I love understanding that. Here's what we're. Of course, you got to run the damn ball, but get the ball out quick. Have a screen game. We haven't seen much RPO action. And
they tried it a couple times.
I did, I know.
And it was rough.
And listen, these guys, they get paid a lot of money on the other side of the ball.
They sure do. Man. And they've been good. The thing that won't show up in that stat line, Curtis Samuel and Jahan Dotson were active in the blocking this week. And Curtis Samuel especially had a big play blocking downfield, which we cannot forget. He's one of the smaller guys out there. And he was way down the field, making way for, I believe, Brian Robinson on a late run. So, again, everybody involved at all levels of the field. But 10 guys, to throw that up there again, 10 guys getting catches, 300 yards, spread out pretty wildly. It's pretty hard to be the defensive coordinator in the following week and try to say, okay, where do you go? What are you trying to take away? I thought Brian Robinson, again, he's showing the ability to catch the ball and run, and whether he's going to be asked to do it a lot, and I hope he is, but he doesn't need to. The thing about since we're talking about the passing game, the screens, Kevin, that you brought up, our screen game, the difference for me of when they played replays of the screen game were how open they were. I mean, in the NFL. Guys are so fast. The linebackers are fast. The safeties are so fast. Obviously, people are rushing us to no end, and we're using that against them. But a couple of those screens, there was like a whisker away from nobody touching the ball carrier at all.
I know.
And that's crazy.
And not just play design and Mr. Bieniemy, and we'll say his name 1,000 more times. Let's tip the cap to the offensive line for the first time all season and say, you know what, guys? Not only did you wear their ass out a little bit and get into our run game at the end of the game, and all of a sudden be Rob, who also will wear your ass out after 18 carries for 87 yards. That's a big man going north-south. Give our line a little applause here. That screen game, they were magnificent. They showed some athleticism. They showed some cohesion. And that is not easy to do. You don't just put a group of 5 together in this league and run screen like that. They're running it like a veteran offense. I know it's 1 or 2 weeks here, but
sorry,
you got
a little bit late there.
If you got it, shake what your mama gave you, kid. And here's the deal. I loved it. I loved how our offensive line did it. Were we fantastic in pass protection? No, it's fine. We're going to get there. We're going to be more cohesive that way. I feel like it. But we start mixing in screens and running the ball effectively when it matters in the second half when you need it. I want to tip the cap to those guys because they've taken 10 sacks. We've sacked the other team 10 times, and we've been sacked 10 times. I think that number it hasn't been that many sacks since.
I also think Hal executed them extremely well. One in particular, I think to Brian, he held the ball long enough,
just the right amount,
enough to really draw that rush.
We have
be able to set it up
We have
Well-
a critique on our applause. Let's just real fast, you guys give a good listen. According to Greg, there's a woman in the applause that's just a little bit too enthusiastic. One more time. Okay, I don't know. I don't know if I hear it.
Well, I know what this was a recording of, and I know exactly what the scenario is.
Well, we're going to agree to disagree. But he held the ball the right amount of time,
Yes.
perfectly amount of time.
In those situations, yes.
Yeah. Before we go to the next group, we talked about how, and I wanted to say this closer to the top of the show. Get your thumbs up clicks ready for anyone who agrees with this following statement. The people on TV, and I don't have any plans to go down the rabbit hole of talking about the terribleness of our announcers this past week. We're 2-0.
You guys
I don't need to
give
do
these
that.
guys way too much credit.
I'm done with it. I'm not. And if we're
I can't
losing,
stand Archuleta,
if it's a
dude.
terrible season, then I'll get to that. But I had better things to watch in between the whistles, and therefore Archuleta and Spiro Dades or whatever, however you want to pronounce his name, they didn't quite ruin it for me or for everybody.
They're not going to ruin it. They're just,
But they kept talking about how the fumble, how when Jamin, which is a great play by Jamin Davis, awesome pursuit behind Russell Wilson all the way across the field, got him to put it on the ground, and it was a little bit of a momentum changer. But do you guys agree with this? I don't think there's any question that when Kareem Jackson launched his body at Logan Thomas's head in the end zone, at that exact moment, that touchdown put us in, gave us some points that we desperately needed. And obviously, moved us, a little bit further up on the scoreboard. But at that point in the game, we were still getting boat raced. We were still getting disrespected in every aspect of the game, and that was the most egregious form of disrespect an opponent can pay you. That's a testament to how much we were not a part of that game in that moment. They had no respect for us in any way, shape, or form. To me, that was the moment that turned our team around. I credit Andrew Gates.
Nick Gates.
Nick Gates. I don't know why I said Andrew Gates.
I loved it.
Yes.
Listening to him
Nick
point
Gates.
at Kareem Jackson and
Yes.
say, I'm going to fuck you up.
Yes.
About 16 times.
Yes.
Sadiq Charles was in there giving him shit, but
I
Nick
thought it was
Gates was like,
Stromberg too.
Gates was the one that was the first one, and my whole
63.
he blatantly said, I'm going to, about 3 times, and he was dead serious, and he didn't get the opportunity because we knew he was getting ejected. But
to me, that was the moment. That was the moment where you were like, "All right, guys, like, do you see what they think of you?"
How did he hold on to that ball?
I have no idea.
It's one of the better catches that is going to go underrated. It's one of the toughest.
It was like a
catches.
Ryan Tidwell.
It was
like
sick,
from Jerry
dude.
Maguire. When he was
I
just
knew
like
he was
holding it
out.
at the end.
There was how?
He was sitting, and I was like,
Hell yeah, Logan Thomas. That was big
amazing.
Time. That's a hell of a catch.
It was, yeah. I mean, to me, that was the turning point of the whole affair. And at that point, I was like, man, like, I know we got some pretty badass dudes that aren't going to take that sitting down. There's no way that wasn't discussed at length in the locker room at halftime.
1 year ago and 1 game ago, Carson Wentz got sacked and 5 offensive linemen refused to pick him up off the turf.
Yes.
Now our tight end is getting speared right in the freaking face, and
guy was up,
our
like,
whole O-line
we
is
were
trying to
ready
kill
to go.
somebody.
We were ready to go.
There's a bit of a difference
Yes.
in offensive line play. And who's the quarterback? I know people think it's not personal, but I'm sorry. There's some guys that we've played with that we know. There's something a little different when you respect the shit. Yes, you respect your job, but if you're trying to get to that different level, there's something that happens when you have mutual respect for your coworker, and you'd want to go the extra mile, and that's just human nature.
Yep.
That's evident with this group.
I mean, 2 weeks
they've got
in a
each
row.
other's back. Yeah, they're gonna.
2 weeks
they're
in a row,
gonna
that guy's
fight.
white
They're
went
gonna
after
fight.
Sam
Yes,
Howell's head.
Exactly. They're
And
gonna
then,
fight.
And Kareem Jackson went up.
And I
after
love
his
it.
head. So,
I love it.
I mean, I don't want any of our guys. I don't want you going after our guys' heads, but it doesn't work as a strategy for beating us. So all right. So I just thought that was I just disagreed. It was a huge fumble by Russell Wilson, kind of a huge brain fart. But if you really look at the way the game went, the momentum had kind of shifted toward. They were getting to punt it back to us. It was a field position change. Ultimately, all that fumble was a field position difference as opposed to Kareem Jackson basically showing his ass and making it clear that the Denver Broncos had zero respect for us
It
in
was
that
so
moment.
blatantly gross. Like,
Yeah.
dude, and he's had issues with that. Come on, bro. What are you doing? There's also every NFL player kind of has this idea that we look out for each other. We're on this game. It's a limited amount of time we're here. There has to be some type of respect. That was blatantly gross.
So bad. He's got a big
old
absurd fine coming.
Yeah, well, at some point, something else has to happen.
I agree.
Because
I agree.
That was a different level.
It was worse. It was worse. Like the white hit on Sam Howell's head was bad, but it wasn't that bad. Like the Kareem Jackson, like he literally he launched himself at the head. It was so unbelievable.
What we've been told specifically not to do.
That's
he
right.
did all of that.
All of it.
Yeah.
All of it.
Shit.
All right, so let's move away from the wide receivers for a second. Let's look at these running backs. There's old Sammy Howell registering number 3. So obviously, story of the day: B-Rob, 18 for 87, as you said, with 2 touchdowns, double touchdown games. We talked about that before the season. They're far and few between, or I should say, there's not a lot of guys. I don't know that he was one of the guys that was on your list previously. Was he?
Who? What?
Brian Robinson, 2 touchdowns in the same game.
Oh no, he's not. I don't think he did it last year.
I don't think he did it either.
I think he only had 2 touchdowns all last year.
Yeah. So now he's a 2 touchdown in the same game guy. But when you're running back scoring multiple touchdowns in the same game, that's a big deal. Again, we talked about one of those Antonio Gibson carries. He only had 9 yards, but 6 of them were badass and made a big difference. I guess to talk about Brian Robinson for a second. Oh, and you know what? When we'll come back to the wide receiver grade here in a second. But just Brian Robinson, rookie running backs. If they come into the league with all of the athletic ability in the world, carved out of rock, fast, agile, powerful, all that stuff. You can't teach any of that. That's all God given. And these guys
bulletproof.
These guys bulletproof. Yeah, these guys come in the league with that already. But it's like that. It's the vision that that you don't have right away, and you won't until you, like as Kevin says, until you live it. The touchdown run where he started up the middle and made his way out to the left, just that to me was just maturity defined. He made guys miss. He was elusive and powerful all at the same time. It was that run. I mean, again, things were going our way at that point in time in the game. But it was an inside give, and he poked it out to the left, stepped over a couple guys, and the next thing you know, he penetrated the end zone.
He did
area.
It was. You were right.
He's coming along, man. He's coming along in a way that like old school Washington running backs.
That's what he is, an old school. He is going to wear you down. He gets north south. He's not dancing. He's a one cut and go, and I love it. I love how he runs the ball. He has patience, but when it's time to go, that's a whole lot of dude to tackle.
It is,
especially in the fourth quarter, and I love that about him.
You got a workhorse who's showing that he also has some big playability, and I think he's got bigger plays ahead of him.
I agree.
He has some big ones.
I'm surprised we didn't get more guys in the mix, but I mean, when you're getting 4.8 on 18 carries, that's pretty damn good, and
yes,
that actually can get a little bit better.
It will. We're going to improve. This front five is going to get better. I think they showed a little bit of why they're a little
they
underrated.
could put together 2 halves of running the ball like they did in the second half. They can do that in the first half.
I agree.
All right, so we didn't give the wide receivers a grade. Let's do that real fast, and then get to the running backs. Wide receivers. I mean, it's hard not to give these guys. It's hard not to give the wide receiver position group an A. But
because A is dominant to me, and I don't think they were dominant, I'm going to go with a B here.
No, they can be more dominant, like we said.
And they can, and that comes with more targets.
No, B. I think B's perfect right there.
All right, I'm going to say B+ for you guys. I'm not going to go. I gave Sam Howell an A. You can't give the wide receivers and the quarterback an A, I guess.
Did you ever have nuns growing up in Catholic school?
We don't have a 100-yard receiver. That's an A.
I agree.
Okay, you need a 100.
10 guys
receiver.
is a lot. Said somebody.
But how many running backs? How many tight ends out of the 10? Like, come on, we got 1, 4, 7, 12 catches out of our wide receivers. That's B. It's B. We spread it around.
I got you. Running backs. I'm still in the B range.
I want to give Brian himself an A.
You can give Brian an A if you want.
Brian, you get an A, sir.
B plus for the running backs. I thought, did Chris Rodriguez have a fumble recovery? No, onside kick.
And it was
Onside
great
kick.
because the angle we were looking at, it looked way more dangerous. The second angle, it wasn't as
carries,
bad.
though.
No, the onside kick he recovered.
I know.
He came in and he made some blocks.
No, that's just saying he doesn't get plus points, but he didn't get negative.
But what's the name of that position called? That he came in a couple times.
Hands team.
It was no. He came in. It wasn't H back. He kind of came in at that Armagh spot. You know, he kind of
Fullback.
No, well, he ultimately was a blocker in the position, but he started out in that H back type spot and then kind of motioned into something. He's a big physical guy. If they can get him, if he gets a carry or two, fine. We don't need that, but he made a difference in the game. He made a positive difference.
Him
in the
and
game.
B Rob for the next 2 years are going to be pretty nasty in tandem. But I think this year Antonio has to have a role, and I think he proved why on Sunday.
All right, so let's see here. I got some stats on the other side of the ball, and it's kind of encompasses more than just one position group. I mean, we just agree we're going to give the defensive line an A.
A plus.
Yeah, they're aces. Now the linebackers started slow. The Cody Barton
He graded out horribly.
Cody Barton era is not started off swimmingly. Although he had some good
flies
plays.
around, and
Yes.
you can tell he's an. I hate to say he's an effort guy. No, he is a guy that he understands the game. He's going to make some plays. He's a little exuberant. He's going to overrun some shit. He's going to try and fly up and drill somebody instead of just making the tackle. But he'll figure it out. And I appreciated the passion he showed playing the game. But I understand why maybe he didn't grade out just perfectly. But you know what? You're in there on 10 tackles. You know, we're going to say your name positively. And that
Had a couple QB hits.
He did. And he had some good plays. He had some stuff. But that's all right. That's all right. He's in a 1-year prove-it deal. And he's going to fly around like a maniac. And you know what?
Jamin Davis is outplaying him right now.
Well, Jamin Davis showed some serious effing speed. And we know he has it. But, there was 2 plays.
He's a slow starter, but he's starting to show that he deserves to be at this level.
He made Russ look like he was 50 on one play. The closing speed, it was like Velociraptor
It was LeVar,
versus
Troy Aikman style.
Laura Dern, right? I mean, it was tough. Is that
Yep.
her name? I'm not a big actress. Is it Laura Dern? Did I get it right?
From Jurassic Park?
Yeah.
I think so.
I think
that was like 1,000 years ago.
I mean, she's like someone that Aaron Rodgers would break up with someone hot to date. So, I mean, I don't know how I know her name, but I know Velociraptors have serious explosion.
Yes,
and that's
do.
what Jamin Davis looked like when he was chasing that dude down. He made him look old. And I know Russ has the ability to throw the deep ball. We saw that. But he ain't running around on us anymore. And man, Jamin Davis, explosive.
Linebackers, B minus, I guess. I don't know. C plus, B minus. It's
I'm
hard
going
to
to
give
go
anyone.
C plus.
Yeah. Okay.
C plus.
The fumble was a big play. It was a big play.
B minus. You're right. It was a huge play.
It was a big play.
It was a huge play. It was an effort play, speed, athleticism. It was awesome. We needed it badly.
It doesn't show. I don't know why. Maybe I just didn't copy enough lines to get the INT line here. But our secondary, I thought, played a pretty darn good game. And you know what? They gave up some trash right away. But the thing about Emmanuel Forbes giving up the big play early is that he came back and he played.
He's redeemed himself twice.
Let's put the Hail Mary play in our
2
pocket
weeks.
and come back to it later and not talk about it at all until then. But the play of our corners for the most of the part of this game, I thought was pretty darn good.
Sean Payton versus Emmanuel Forbes in the first quarter. I think everyone could have written down, they're going to take multiple shots at this guy. This is what he does. He's a veteran, old school cat. Let's see what Forbes has got. And by the way, dang, you live and you learn. And thank God we won.
Dude, Marvin Mims is good.
Marvin Mims
He's
is
really
right now
good.
averaging 56.5 yards per catch against the Washington Commanders.
I mean, he's
2
still-
catches for a buck
He's running
13
right now. He's got the
and
ball.
a teeter. You throw in that Brandon Johnson Hail Mary, 40% of the yards passing and 50% of the yards passing and 40% of the total yards were on those 2 Mims catches and the Hail Mary.
Yep.
How about that shit?
Yeah.
It's, I mean, not to relive it, but but Russell Wilson's deep ball against us during his career. I mean, he's done it to everybody, but he's definitely done it to us.
Manner of speaking, I was screaming Slim Pickens too. He got one. Slim Pickens got one.
There he is.
But the way he did it, you kind of get the feeling he's going to get, because he was already thinking about transferring the ball and scooting on down the side.
Yeah, he was
dang
close.
it.
He really should have 2 already.
I know.
Because the play he made last week was a brilliant play. He just wasn't able to catch it.
He should have intercepted the Hail Mary, but whatever.
Oh gosh.
We're not talking about that. We're not talking about it. We're not talking about it yet. We'll get to it. We're going to get to it. All right, let's go back to the defense.
The anti-Viagra moment of the game.
Yes. Oh, God, what a boner killer.
Oh, God. It would chop down like a cherry tree. Like Abraham Lincoln, sir.
Unbelievable. AC
Cannot
Sports
tell a lie.
in the house. All right, so secondary gets, I'm going to give him, I guess I got to give him a B+. B+.
C+, sir.
C+.
You can't give up
No.
113 yards in the first
As you
quarter.
said, you can't give up trash.
You can't just give up. Yeah, it's, and I love them, and they're nasty, and they're never going to. I'm never going to.
How
give
about
them
corners or safeties or both?
You said
No, the safeties are
secondary.
just
Yeah,
as-
secondary.
Percy Butler is
Secondary
just
is
as
secondary.
yeah. Percy Butler is just as much at fault for those.
Agreed. It's a functioning unit.
Yeah.
It's one unit. We're talking about units, and
Mm-hmm.
that's what we're doing. And that's a C+, man. Sorry, but the Hail Mary and the 2 Mims, I said, it's easy to say blah, 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 but that's 163 yards of offense in 3 fucking plays against a defense that we think is elite. So it's not yet.
Right.
And that's bullshit, because we're going to get there. So C+, earn it next week, the entire 4 quarters against Josh Allen. And you know what? We'll come with a better grade.
Special teams, it was uneven. And they had 5 guys try out for the snapping position, and they made no change.
I haven't seen these bad snaps.
Sir, 2 weeks ago I said it's getting terrible. And right now,
I haven't noticed it. I
the
don't know
cheese
why.
man snaps,
second-
they're lactose intolerant, T.
The first field goal,
he's
the field goal that he
snapping
missed
back.
was a bad snap. Yeah.
And it's obvious. And then the push out, and you're like, and it's just the chain of events. And this guy's, I just said, he's kind of a weird dude. He quit the Michigan football team. And when we drafted him, he wasn't an active member of the team. Guys like that, there's always a red flag in my head. I don't care if it's 8 years old. We were talking about who didn't show up at my freaking 13U practice tonight, and I'm ridiculously horrified. If Cheese Man is going to come out there and be this personality and quit and be this guy, and we move up to draft you, and you can't snap your shit correctly,
Yeah,
you gotta go, dude.
You gotta be able to. I mean,
I don't know who's out there
problem.
better. I don't, and I'm not saying that, but I like that there's guys coming in this week, because he's a weird dude, man. Like T would say it. You're Cheese Man. You're a weird dude, Ace.
It's going to cost us
They're
at
weird
some
guys.
point. It's going to cost us at some point, and I don't know. It is a specialty spot.
If it costs us at some point, it's now on Ron. And
Well, but
the
we're bringing in
coaching staff.
guys. Apparently, the 5 guys we
Bringing
brought
in
in
guys.
couldn't get it done.
And our guys are saying, Cheese Man, snap muffer. You don't want that said on your bio line.
you don't want snap muffer.
On Hogs Haven, on First Amendment. You don't want it out here.
He's a muffer. And
Come on, dude. Snap the ball. You've done it 8.7 billion times.
It's your job.
do
Have you ever seen these
know
guys work out?
The muffer, man.
Like repetition. Well, you find that you can hit a little slump every now and then. It's no different than trying to hit a bait. It's life. Come on, dude. It's been it's been a little tough. It's been a little lumpy. The cottage cheese is out there. It's not.
Yep.
There's
Dude,
no,
this is a weakness for us right now, and it's a big
I'm
one.
sorry, but you miss a field goal and give the ball back to a team like that on their home turf at midfield.
Yep.
That's a terrible miss. Of course, I think you should have kicked it. 58 yards.
No, that was you're talking about the 59 yarder.
Yeah.
The 59 yarder was the snap was okay.
I know, but the push, right? What I'm saying is, you just want everything to work.
Yes.
The idea that, all right, the snaps haven't been okay, and altitude shouldn't be an issue with this dude's leg. Sly's got a freaking
That
cannon.
ball, that kick was good from 70. He just pushed it to the
he
right.
pushed 30 yards to the right.
I know.
How often do you see that happen twice in an NFL game? I'm sorry, Cheese Man, figure your shit out, buddy.
Got to do better. All right, how
Pick
about
it up,
this?
cheese.
All right, how
Quitter.
about this?
Quitter.
For the win. There's a lot going on here. I'm sorry if you're watching from your phone, if that's a little bit busy, but the old team stats. 26-21 on the first downs. I thought the third down efficiency needs to get better, although we held them to 4 of 12, which is a big deal. That's a good thing for our defense. Outgunned on the yards, but that came down to one play. It's always so crazy how close these numbers ultimately get in a game at the
The
NFL
rushing,
level.
23 for 122 for both teams.
It's unreal.
It's so creepy.
It's unreal.
Last time we played Buffalo, they had 23 rushes for 120 yards.
Really?
Yeah.
I have some Buffalo trivia for you tonight, by the way, Mister.
I hope you're talking football, sir, because I don't know much about the American bison, but I think it's an amazing breed.
Penalties, we got to do better. That's a bad number. 8 for 71. Not going to get it done. But winning the turnover battle is a big deal.
And circle that red zone joint.
And circle that red zone. 3 for 3 is just outrageous. That's outrageous.
And the board's echoing this, and then it's part of it. Tressway averaged 56 yards per punt. He had 3 of them.
He's the best. He's the best player on our team every year.
All right. I hate when people say that because you're right. Most consistent, I prefer to say.
Okay.
Because if you don't tackle anybody or score a touchdown, I'm not going to be able to say that you're the best.
Ken Harris with the time of possession win. That's obviously, always what you want. And that's
7:30 on time of possession.
That's
half a quarter, man. That's a big win. Take that, Russ, Ciara, and Future, and all your shit, and your altitudes, and Sean Payton, and all his weird. He's a nut, by the way. You know that, right? Remember, he got caught doing all the.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's been out there.
He has been out there.
He's been out there. Denver's perfect for him. They're all out there, up there. Everyone's high as hell. Crap. It's the mile. You're playing at Mile High, right?
It's a cool place. I've been there. I've been
Hell
out to the stadium.
No,
it's awesome. So time of possession, turnovers. Those are at the end of the day. You start at the bottom and you work your way up. Those are the two things that, especially to coaches that have been around for as long as guys like Payton and Rivera. You win time of possession, you win turnovers, you're going to win more games than you lose.
And in years past, we've talked about time of possession. We've overdone it because what we were trying to do was maintain the ball and get 3.1 yards per carry every time. We're not doing that this year. We're running offense, and that's allowing us to control time of possession. When we're in tempo, it's totally different. Taylor Heineke versus Sam Howell. Our offense is totally different. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And you guys know I'm a Heineke guy.
Yeah.
Screw that. This offense is totally different. And that he's got a freaking house. Let's continue.
Well,
I'm getting emotional.
I thought the other thing that showed growth for me in this game was getting the ball back in the second half when we had a tenuous lead. Right, I believe it was 28-24, something like that, and we get the ball back.
Sounds tenuous.
And it's like, hey, how many times have we gotten the ball back with we've taken the momentum. We took the lead for the first time. Things are going our way, and do we know how to handle it? And, a team that at least thinks of itself as a playoff contender, or that we hope is potentially a playoff contender, that team in that moment has to take the ball, drive it down the field, and get a touchdown. And put points on the board. And you have to increase the lead. You have to exert dominance. You have to put your foot on the throat of your opponent, all the cliches in the world. And that's what we did. And it was so, to me, that was the moment where I was like, more than just like winning the game or like that we were in control of the game. It was a moment where I was like, okay, this team is not the same team that we've been watching. Because the teams we watched in the past, they got the ball back and maybe they got a first down, but they didn't march down the field.
I agree with you, but the drive before the Hail Mary, when we had the ability.
Sure.
We went dive right, dive left, dive right, and lost like 4 yards and punted. And I was like, oh, God. So they'd have to throw a Hail Mary from about midfield and get the 2 points.
Oh, I was counting at the seconds. I was explaining to my family, okay, so here's the deal. Clock's going to start. They're going to get the ball back with 48 seconds, and this is how it's going to all work out, and then they're going to be throwing a Hail Mary.
Greg Martin just wrote that down, put that up there, because I was like, did we really just hand it off to the up back 70 times in a row? Like, just kneel on it. Just kneel on it. Then you don't have to have an extra handoff. I know you're anticipating. Bro, they're going all out run. You're going to have a turnover next time. But a young offense. We can't just ask Sam Howell. We got caught in a spot there.
That would have been a great screen, time for a screen. Maybe.
Well, here's the deal.
Maybe.
That's part of what you said, the growth. And I hope that in a few weeks we're in that situation and we have a little more confidence in the playbook to open it up un poquito.
Getting to 35, though, to me was a big deal because we don't get to we haven't got to 35 that often, first and foremost. It was actually meaningful against the Denver Broncos because, they're
good defense.
Sorry, but well, no, I'm just saying. And also,
I think we're going up against two good defenses in 2 weeks. I'm sorry, but I do feel that.
Oh, Arizona's got some badass guys on their defense.
I know, but it's hard to watch the Giants do that. Anyways, keep going.
We 35 points. First of all, you better win games if you score 35 points. Most.
Oh yeah.
If
with this defense in this league,
exactly. So
I think the target really is.
It's in the 20s.
If you get to 26.
Yeah, mid-20s.
I was going to say 25. I don't even know why.
I said 24. Last week someone asked me, I said 24.
Number 25.
I said if we score 24 points, we win the game.
Your defense is supposed to keep you under that.
Well, and
our defense can.
Exactly. Certainly this one.
Yes.
This is who we are. That's the fun part. I love knowing this is who we are. When we grew up, we knew who we were. We ran the ball and played defense. We're getting there running the ball. It's a new league. We're getting there passing the ball too, but we're going to play some damn D.
I didn't realize that. I knew it was rare. Yeah, rarefied.
That makes sense, dude. We've been running like run the clock offense.
Yes. In the first quarter, we're like, hey, let's just sit on this one, guys.
Our defense last year needed to keep punts to 17.
Exactly.
Yep.
Oh God.
All right, so this week we got the Buffalo Bills.
That's a great stat there, manner of speaking. I love that.
And Josh Allen, I think I've watched 90+% of both Bills games now, and their first two games have been kind of a tale of oddities. Josh Allen just absolutely gave that first game away with his throws. I don't know.
4 turnovers.
Not know if he's going to do that for us. I hope he does, but those were ill-advised to say the least. Can't believe he did that against
he bounced back.
The terrible Jets. Yeah, they had a good game. Things that they did really well. Obviously, they got the ball out of his hands quick to Stephon Diggs. And James Cook is a bit of a badass.
I don't think we say this enough, and we have to say it right now to everyone listening. Stephon Diggs may be the best football player that's ever come out of this area. He's from the conference that we all cover, and you guys know that. He came down here last time we played against 2 years ago, and he didn't blow it up. Allen did. We'll talk about that. He went bonkers on us, but we were a different team then. We were at the beginning of this process. Stephon Diggs is going to be a severe problem for us this week. There's no way around it. We're pretty good at taking out the other team's best player, but Josh Allen is the other team's best player, I believe, right now, the way this offense is constructed for them. And Ken and T, we've all had these conversations. Ken's a huge Brett Favre guy. I think we all are to a certain level. This guy reminds me a ton with the way he makes his decisions of the old gunslinger. I mean, he ain't afraid to throw for 4 and 3 teeters, interceptions, or 2 and 5, or 6 and 1. Like, he doesn't give a shit. It scares me, but it also gives me some happiness because I know our defense is a defense that can take advantage of his bonehead plays.
Yep.
He can take advantage of anyone's defense at the same time. This is the dynamic we're going up against, and I don't know how you prepare for that or how Vegas does it either. Because this guy could be all or nothing. And he's great. I think he's great.
It starts with our front four.
It
putting
certainly
pressure
does.
on him. I mean, that's where he can't have time.
This is the matchup.
He can't have time.
This is the matchup.
And
Josh
and
versus
those
Art.
guys-
He's got to have that internal clock going off saying, these 4 dudes are coming after my ass. I need to get rid of this ball. And you're right. It can force him into some bad decision making. If he has time, he'd pick anybody apart.
Well, let me tell you, when he had time 2 years ago against us, he was 32 for 43 for 358 yards, 4 touchdowns, 0 sacks, and 0 interceptions.
We can't have a repeat of that.
Diggs only had 6 for 62. He spread the ball. They had their way with us. That's fine.
Yep.
43-21, I believe. This was the very beginning. This was the genesis of where we're trying to get to. And I believe all those guys in the locker room, there's a lot of them. 9 of the top 13 leading tacklers that day 2 years ago are playing on our defense right now. I know good and goddamn well as you two boys know, that the pride that these guys in the front seven and the secondary have, they're watching their shit out. They're going, he schooled us. He bitch slapped us, to be fair. Josh Allen beat us single-handedly 2 years ago like a drum, and we had no answers.
He absolutely did.
I think we have more solutionary plays, playmakers, whatever it is. I've said it.
Solution.
I stand
I like
by it.
Kevin's used a lot of big words tonight.
I'm going to go solution.
I don't know if solutionary is a big word or a terrible word, but in my dictionary, it's going to be said again. Hopefully on the high school broadcast. I'm going to solutionary your ass in about a
We're
week.
going to do some solutionary.
Yes.
All right, so here's my my trivia for you guys. In this actual game, there's 4 players on the field who've played for both the Washington organization and the Buffalo organization.
Okay.
Yes, on Sunday there'll be 4 guys, assuming allegedly, reportedly, assuming everything goes well, God willing, 4 players in this game on Sunday that have played for both the Bills and the Washington Redskins Commanders football team. A couple of them. Then there's no random.
I don't think I know effing one.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. You know 2 easy.
I don't think I do. Did Logan Thomas play for the Bills?
There you go.
All right,
Logan
well,
Thomas.
thank God.
So Logan Thomas is
Holy
on the
crap.
team. He's playing for.
right.
Hopefully, he'll
All
be
right.
there for us this week.
I hope so. That's such bullshit. If he
Another
isn't.
guy who we drafted from a place where you love.
Jameson was a Bill.
Jamison Crowder was a Bill. Yep.
I forgot Jameson had a Bills stint. All right. I appreciate the hint.
Yep.
Because I
Now-
wouldn't have pulled it.
Now there's 1 and 1. There's a player for the Bills who's a backup who played for us and in the last couple of years, and there's a player for us on defense who's a veteran who's playing for us who spent some time in a Bills jersey. Not Sims. Greg Martin is guessing Sims. It's not Sims. I'm going to go with.
This is tough.
Yeah. So it's the backup quarterback for the Bills.
Oh, I knew. I was going to tell you. I wrote it. I have it written down. Look right here.
Yep.
Look at my little
Kyle
notes.
Allen.
I was shocked to find out that Kyle Allen.
Yes. Our former starting quarterback.
That makes no sense. Kyle Allen, we barely knew him. He was sandwiched in between 2 guys we like better.
So many Kyle Allens in our past.
Poor Kyle
Started
Allen.
so many guys.
2 games?
I don't even know.
I think you might be right. I
mean,
think it's about that number.
Yes.
It can't be more.
No.
Unfortunately, it can't be less either. But
no, unfortunately.
I mean, he's more of a 2-3 guy, not a 1-2 or a 2. He's like a 2.
And I'm going to
guy.
correct myself because I'm thinking, actually, I do, and then this might give you a clue. I think that the guy who's on our team is, might be injured. Big defensive end. Veteran presence brought in by Ron Rivera last year.
Injured defensive end.
Made the team. Maybe we thought maybe they might get chased out because of some of the young talent, but at the end of the day, F.A. Obata was somebody.
Oh, Obata.
Who,
He had a great. Well, he had a very cool career. How he became, an NFL player. I would never have known that. But that's why it's a great trivia
Yeah,
question.
he's been around for a little bit. There you go, 4 guys that I'm trying to. If I can remember to do that each.
I like that. And tell me this. And I wanted to ask you guys. I didn't get a chance to look it up. Damar Hamlin.
He didn't suit up in week 1.
No, he didn't.
I don't know that he did.
And
this
I don't
week
know what
either.
happened last week, but if he's in our football world, within 10 miles of us, like I hope that we treat him amazingly well.
Yeah.
And I know we will.
will. We
I hope we get
for
the
sure will.
opportunity to, because that's pretty special. That guy's story is pretty special. I hope, and our fan base, I think what everyone's going to see, and everyone on this board already knows because you're part of it, our fan base is thoroughly knowledgeable. We went through the 70s, 80s, and 90s, and we knew all that and we treated everyone very properly. And I think you guys remember this. Like, those stands didn't just shake, but we were a very knowledgeable fan base about what was what and who was dealing with stuff and people. And I hope that, because the Dan Snyder years, we weren't that great at this. to be
No.
fair, because the greatest fans weren't there because they couldn't stomach it. I think what we're seeing, by the way, the game sold out this week once again.
And there's going to be a lot of
back-to-back
Buffalo
sellouts.
fans there. This
Yeah.
ain't the Arizona Cardinals, folks.
No, but the Bills
You mean
Mafia
Harris is
travels.
making money? That's amazing.
It's true.
Yeah, it's crazy, right?
It's true.
It's crazy. Final thoughts, guys? Kev?
Well, we got this. Oh, well, I will say this. Brian Daboll was their offensive coordinator last time this happened. He's no longer with the Buffalo Bills.
Brian Daboll.
He's gone.
He's our problem from
Unfortunately, we got to see him twice now.
Yeah, but that's fine because Josh Allen's not there and Daniel Jones is. But Daboll put 480 on us, 480 yards that day. Only the Chiefs at 499 and Eric Bieniemy put more on us that year as a coordinator. So I'm thinking that there's a reason why Bieniemy's here and Daboll's also in the same conference. But both these guys are 7th and 8th in points scored. 27.5 for us at 7th. The Buffalo's at 27.
You know what? I got this other stat. This last piece of goodness that I forgot. Well, first of all, it's got to be a little bit of this. We can't leave without a little Martha in our lives. But how about this?
Right on. Hold on.
Anyone just want me to give you just?
Oh God, you did it. Oh my God.
There's just a little Martha for you.
It tastes just like the recipe said.
Oh my God.
Okay, all right. You know what?
My
For
God.
goodness sake, here we go.
What? It's called T-Mom Cookies.
Here we go. All right. So this has been coming across my.
Oh, that did sound bad.
I
didn't mean that. Oh my God.
Oh my goodness gracious! This trade continues to reap rather good benefits for our squad. I'm just gonna keep this. I'm gonna keep this graphic handy week after week after week.
Did Sean Payton have something to do with that? I think.
I'll tell you what, though, Chris Olave is making up
No doubt.
his own part.
He's a
of
stud.
that.
But he can't do all that shit.
He is a stud.
No.
I think it was a good deal for both teams based on where they were both at, except for in New Orleans. I don't know, man.
Continues to be a reminder to me personally about the value of a middle round pick in the first round. In that 10 to 15 range where we've been living forever. This is a textbook example of what you can do by trading down from the middle to the bottom of the first round. Hopefully that's not where we're going to be picking for quite some time. But this is amazing.
Joel, no, Cole Turner was the highest graded player on the squad.
The play he made, and he drugged the damn dude down to about the one, and he's a horse, and I love it because he's just going to get better and better. He only had 3 catches last year, he was injured, and we knew he could be a guy.
Highest graded player.
That's cool. I did not know that, and I love that.
Little Ken Harris Super Bowl memory tour, Broncos followed
There
by
you
Bills.
go.
That's the vibe I'm looking for this week. That's the vibe I'm looking for.
What you want, Tua? You want some Tua?
Come
we'll take
on.
the Dolphins down too.
We got the Dolphins coming. We have got the Dolphins coming.
We remember Super Bowl 17
Yes,
as well.
we
This
do.
is beautiful. 22 and 26. Ken Harris has got them locked.
We don't
up.
have Raiders this year, I don't think.
That's good.
It is.
That's good
That might be a good thing.
because old Jim Plunkett, he split chin the shit out of us that day.
Marcus Allen is still running free.
Well, I think
in
he had the
backyard.
Super Bowl rushing record mid-second quarter,
Yeah.
but I was there that day.
Yeah, I know you were.
I was there.
hate to bring it up. I
and-
hate
no,
to bring it up.
No, I loved it. It's only Super Bowl. It was a great story, but not so much the Marcus Allen portion of it.
Oof.
Tom Flores, you're a good man. I met Tom Flores in the lobby that night, and he spent time with my dad, and he was just the kindest dude.
That's old school. I mean, he's an old
Tom
school dude.
Flores?
Yeah.
Come on,
that's
man.
how it works.
He took Dick Vermeil down.
in Indian leg wrestling in the lobby of the hotel, right then and there, right in front of you.
with Plunkett and Jaworski. The Jaws went down.
Yeah.
Vermeil went down. He was crying. Jaworski had to go to ESPN. It was nuts. Plunkett got the MVP.
Final
Super
score of
Bowl
the game.
15.
Final score of the game.
Final score of the game.
Well, in our pre,
I got it here.
season,
I got it.
I have this down as a loss.
Big mistake.
Do I keep it as a loss? I feel very differently when I said it was a loss at the time, and I'm feeling differently enough.
I love when
feels
he feels
differently.
different.
He feels different.
31-27. Good guys.
Oh,
Kev?
27.
31-27, you said, T?
Yeah.
27-24, Joey Sly walk-off. Place goes nuts. Fuck Buffalo. Love Josh Allen. Love Buffalo. Just, sorry. That's how I feel. I said it 3 weeks ago. I was like, F Buffalo. Why can't we beat Buffalo?
Yeah.
And by the way, favored by underdogs by
They're
6.5.
Touchdown.
Yeah, well, guess what? Vegas can get a touchdown wrong.
Over 2-1 on the money line.
You ain't throwing for 358 on us, Josh. Sorry, buddy. We all grown up down here.
I'm going to go. I got to score in points again. I just don't. I think that Eric Bieniemy has the keys right now to a Cadillac, and he's just.
You were about to say a Hummer. I heard you. I heard you say it. It almost came out. You knew it'd be rude.
Do it.
But it's a Cadillac, and
It's a Cadillac,
and it's an old Cadillac.
He's running it.
It's been refurbished.
And
got a new driver.
I got us going 31-23. I don't think this. It's not going to be a last possession game. This is a big W. So this 31-23. We got
He
3
said
wins.
31-27. So
Greg
we're
Martin
looking for a
went
bunch of
27-23.
51, 58, and 54 points between us. We're thinking that 55.
Yep.
Actually, that's right on. That's right on tap.
It's 55 over under, right?
I think that's what Ken Harris put up there today.
Yeah.
And that's where I get all my line information, all my betting information
Yes.
this week came from Ken Harris tonight.
Hey, we're gonna come back.
I'm a terrible gambler.
We're gonna
I
come
need
back.
all the advice I can get.
And
Actually, I don't even gamble.
If you are hanging out on Saturday afternoon looking for something good to do on your phone or tablet when you're on the run, these two guys are going to be calling a high school football game right up the street, St. John's College High School, Washington, D.C. versus the Mission Viejo. What's their? I don't know their.
I was on the
mascot
site today.
I'm just going to say Vandals because it sounds sweet.
It's the Vandals.
But it might not be the Vandals, but I will tell you this.
From Orange County, California, they are a
Crusaders.
good high school program.
Mark Sanchez and Jordan Palmer both come out of Mission Viejo. They lost to last year's national champion. And hey, man, shout out Rakim Jarrett getting his first NFL catch for the Buccaneers. If we're talking about the Cadets and
The
Mission
Diablos.
The Diablos.
I knew it was
even
something.
better.
I knew. When I say
Even
Vandals,
better.
I knew it was
Diablos.
something like dark but cool.
Yeah, Diablos.
That's a great name, man.
It is. It is. That'll be happening on Saturday afternoon on First Amendment Sports. We'll be back here on Tuesday night for episode 2 of Thank God It's Tuesday, the year 1 AD. I feel comfortable embracing that. You guys are cool with that? I mean,
I love
At first,
it.
I didn't get it, but now I do.
okay. I think that. The over under is 44.5. So we're all wildly over.
AD stands for After Dong Puss.
After dong puss. After dongy dongs. Hey, come on back in 7 days. If you saw something you liked, give us a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe.
It was an all-inclusive
We'll
jab.
see you in 7 days. We're still live. Fade to
That
black.
might be better than Turd Swaggler.
No, they're both
Turd,
equals.
Turd
We have to
Swagler
keep
is-
on.
Turd Swagler's forever. Thank you, Manner, speaking. You had a good show too, bro.
He really did.
He kind of rocked it.
EO had a great show. Even
J
that-
Dubs.
I mean,
J Dubs was
Greg Martin's
coming hard
always.
at the end.
I give us an A+.
Ken Harris.
Harris.
I give us all an A+ for the night.
Greg got a last-second muff
especially
call.
since we're out of practice. I mean, this is worse than
I know we haven't been. This is our shit. We skip preseason.
Yeah, we
you
went
guys
straight
love
in.
preseason, so I love this. Let's keep it rolling.
See you next week, boys.